Welcome to another edition of This Week in High School Sports, where we get you caught up on what's going on in the world of sports within the Edmonds School District high school scene. My name is Steve Willits. Our sponsor this week, as always, Red Onion Burgers over at Meadowdale Terrace, located at 210th and 44th. And we brought some props in today, and some of which I've been already kind of working on a little. A red onion chocolate shake. Use real chocolate ice cream to make these too, as they have different flavors of ice cream inside their restaurant. Mac and cheese, always a nice little comfort food, if you will. Brought in some tots with chili and cheese on them as well. Burgers, chicken burgers, fish and chips, chili, salads, whatever you need, they pretty much have it. So we invite you to stop on by Red Onion Burgers. Also like to mention that business is booming at Red Onion, so they are looking for new employees. Make sure you swing on into the store. You can also find them on Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, swing on by their Facebook page. Make sure you download the Uber Eats app if you want to order food online. The word you want to use once you enter that app to get a $10 discount on your first order, the code, if you will, is EATS-SEAUNRUE. Again, Red Onion Burgers, our sponsor, and we appreciate them for all that they do and all the great food that they provide us with. Now it's time for sports. We're going to start off this week by talking about girls basketball. Great week for all four of our Edmonds School District teams, all coming away with victories this week. The Linwood Royals, we'll start off by talking about them. They had two extremely tough games against Snohomish and Stanwood. Two teams that going into the week, some of us, myself included, thought might be the two teams to beat in Wesco 3A, and Linwood beating both of them rather handedly, quite frankly. Beating Snohomish on Wednesday night, the final score was 52-44. They scored 12 points to open up the game. Riley Walsh had an excellent first quarter. She scores 6 points, causes some turnovers. They get the victory. Then on Friday, Linwood takes on an undefeated Stanwood team, or a Stanwood team that had been undefeated, jump out to a 25-12 first quarter lead. They end up winning that game. The final score was 69-56. Caprice Boston scores 22 points in the victory. Edmonds-Woodway, they picked up a win earlier in the week against an Arlington team that had played in the state championship game last year. Monty Ortega scoring 16 points in that victory. Meadowdale Terrace, they picked up their first conference win of the season, defeating an Oak Harbor team that had beaten them earlier in the year. Final score 53-50. Jory Lambert scores 14 for the Hawks. And then we get to the Meadowdale Mavericks, a team that also picked up its first conference victory of the year. Friday night over Meadowdale Terrace. Final score was 52-22. Freshman Lilly Williams scores 18 points in the game. Senior Selina Tekle, 11 points. They shut the Hawks out entirely for the second quarter. I could keep going on and on about details from the game, but rather than do that, we brought those two young ladies into the studio earlier tonight, and we had a nice conversation with them, not only about the victory, but about their season. Also have a new Maverick that might be joining the squad later on in the year, and we talked about that at the end of the interview. Baby Maverick, soon to be making his presence felt. What does that mean? Stay tuned for this interview, and here it is, our conversation with Lilly and Selina. And as we just mentioned, the Meadowdale Mavericks girls basketball team defeats Meadowdale Terrace on Friday night 52-22. And in the process, they pick up their first Wesco 3A victory of the season. And with us right now, two of the stars from that team, two of the leading scorers, I might add. Lilly Williams, who was a freshman, had 18 points the other night. Selina Tekle had 11 points. She's a senior. Ladies, welcome to the show, and congratulations on the victory. We got to talk about the team a little bit. Selina, I'm going to start with you. It's the first conference win of the year for the Mavericks. What did that mean for you and the team to finally get that victory and to get a win in the? You've won a couple of games already, non-conference, but what did it mean to finally get a Wesco victory?
It definitely means a lot. I mean, this team kind of struggles with confidence, and I feel like getting this win definitely helped in that category. It definitely set the tone, especially winning by so much. I feel like going into this week, it'll be a little different than what we're used to.
And 9 teams out of 12 in Wesco 3A make the playoffs this year, and there's a big group of teams kind of at the bottom there, so it's really not inconceivable that you can still make the playoffs if you get a couple of victories.
Oh yeah, we're definitely working on it and pushing through practices, hoping to make it. I mean, I know it's possible, and I hope you do too. And I definitely think we'll make it if we really do put our minds to it.
Very nice. Now, Lilly, you're a freshman on this team, so your first year. What have you noticed about the team over the last few weeks? Just looking at box scores even, it looks like the games are getting a little bit closer, finally getting nice wins. Do you see progression on the team when you're at practice and in games?
Yeah, for sure. At the beginning we were struggling, but now we're starting to improve and bring the intensity, and a lot more confidence has started to develop.
And the defense looked great the other night. You actually shut out Mount Lake Terrace in the second quarter. Selina, is that something that this team takes a lot of pride in? Do you practice a lot of defense?
Oh yeah, especially in the past couple of weeks, we've been playing a lot of defense in practice. It's always defense-based. I feel like we just kind of understood the fact that defense does win games, and I mean, it definitely did play out in the Terrace game, and I hope we continue the good defense because it definitely will help.
And also, it's kind of fun to see that Lilly, 11 different players scored in that Mount Lake Terrace game. So this is a pretty deep team too, right? You play a lot of players, you rotate a lot of players in and out, and quite a few different people making contributions, right?
Yeah, for sure. We're all contributing, and we're all looking for each other and looking to push, and it's made a huge difference.
So let's talk about your games a little bit right now. I'm going to start with you, Selina. I don't like to embarrass the players and have them talk about each other, so we're going to have you guys kind of flip the script. Selina, I'm going to start with you. Tell me a little bit about Lilly and what the freshman means to the Maverick basketball team.
The new energy is awesome. I mean, she's always looking for her shot, and it falls, so I mean, it plays out really well. I mean, she's definitely a key factor to us, and I know she gets scouted, and she knows she does too, and it's a lot of pressure on her. And I feel like she's carrying the pressure pretty well. I mean, I don't know how I would have done it as a freshman, being the only freshman actually. And I feel like she's a threat, and she definitely is going to continue to be a threat.
And Lilly is the only freshman, but you have a handful of sophomores playing on this
Yes.
varsity team. Tell me a little bit about them.
We only have a couple returning sophomores, Aid, and I think one more. It's a really young team, and it's actually really fun. I think me and Grace have a lot of more fun, like teaching them as we go. I know we're the only two with like more than 2 years of experience, and I mean, it's awesome knowing that they're going to have a really good team next year and even the following. And I mean, we're just building.
And you kind of get to play the mentor role a little bit.
Exactly.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Now, Lilly, tell me about that. She mentioned Grace, which is Grace Wilson. So Grace and Selina are the only two seniors on the team. Tell me a little bit first about Selina's game and what she brings to the team, and then tell me about Grace and Selina together and just what that leadership means.
Yeah, with her being one of the only two seniors, she drives a lot. She takes the game into her own hands and tries to have everyone like contribute to the game and put everything together, and is just a big leader out on the court.
And now with Grace as well on the team, what do the seniors mean to the squad?
They mean a lot to us. They are always encouraging us, and they always like want us to have fun, and they're the ones who put everything together.
Now, I've noticed there's something that's going on the wrist during the games. Is it One Heart is the slogan?
Yes.
Selina, tell me what that means and where do we see that on the...
So we actually took a team retreat in the beginning of the year, and one of the key points of the whole retreat is finding a word that we kind of wanted to focus on. And we realized that One Heart kind of puts everything together, whether it's defense, energy, intensity, everything throughout the whole season. And we kind of just put it all together, and we draw a heart on our wrists. One person every game draws the hearts on our wrists. And it basically is just a reminder, a mental reminder to keep pushing for each other and not only for ourselves.
Sure. I wanted to ask you, too, a little bit about just playing against the other local competition with so many different select leagues now, and I know you've both played for the Edmonds Sports Academy. Lilly, I know you play for Dwayne Hodges right now, who has a number of players locally in the area on his team. You've got a game against Linwood coming up on Wednesday. It's got to feel a little bit like you already know these teams quite a bit, just because of the fact that there's that camaraderie and that competitiveness, even if you will, during the off season. Lilly, I'll start with you. What does it mean to have a game like that and to know that you already kind of know some of these girls and maybe what they're going to bring out there on game night?
It makes it easier to mark them up, but it's also a lot of fun to be out there playing, so we have to keep our mental state focused and know what we have to do to get done.
Sure. Now, Selina, what about you? You've been at this for a while now. Is it kind of fun to go against those teams, knowing that you've got friends on the other side as well?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a game changer, especially playing on teams with these girls. It's fun because I know we both are like competitive like teams, and I mean, it's just awesome playing against people we know their game and we know what they're trying to get to, and it's just nice trying to shut them down.
Sure. How about away from basketball? What are some of the things you're involved with? Selina, I know you're a president of one of the clubs at Meadowdale. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm part of the Black Student Union at Meadowdale, and I'm actually the president. I'm co-president, actually. We do a lot of, volunteer work, planning assemblies. We actually have an assembly next Thursday for MLK. we do a lot of just family oriented volunteering and things like that.
So not only are you a member, you're co-president. That's going to keep you
Yes.
busy during basketball season.
Oh yeah, definitely. Meetings actually happen during basketball practice, so I don't make most of them, but I have to do a lot of it outside of basketball, outside of school. But I mean, commitment is commitment, and I mean, we only have a month left of basketball, so I'm definitely looking forward to making it back to BSU.
Sure. And any thoughts towards next year yet? What you're going to do after you leave Meadowdale?
Hoping to attend the University of Washington if I get admitted, and if not, I mean, who knows? I've been applying to a lot of schools, and basketball isn't really my path after basketball, but I mean after school, but yeah.
Certainly a nice activity while you're there, though, right?
Oh,
So you're
yeah,
enjoying that.
definitely.
And now, Lily, what about you? Are you? I know you're only a freshman, so are we just
Yeah.
kind of getting our feet wet at high school right now? And
Definitely. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do and what clubs I want to be in and just get everything figured out.
okay, and then before I let you go, I've got to ask you another question too. We noticed that Coach Hovener, Caitlin Hovener, looking very pregnant these days.
Oh, yeah.
I think the due date is February 13th. If you make districts, I think district playoffs start February 9th. Do we have any predictions? And the baby is going to be named Maverick, I understand.
Yeah.
So not only are they the Meadowdale Mavericks, and I should point out Caitlin is a graduate of Meadowdale,
Yes.
we know it's going to be a boy. We know it's going to be named Maverick. Any predictions on when the baby arrives? Does the baby get here before the end of the season?
I personally think it's going to.
I do too.
So we might have a baby Maverick on the sideline as a mascot maybe before the end of the
Oh
year.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So that'll be kind of fun. So stay tuned for that. We will definitely keep you posted as to when Caitlin has baby Maverick and let everybody know what's going on. But first and foremost, we've got games against Linwood on Wednesday, Marysville-Getchell on Friday, and then we'll continue the season after that. So again, Selina, Tekle, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lily Williams, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to the Mavericks on their big victory this week, and we will see if the Mavericks can perhaps get another one later on this upcoming week. Thank you, Selina and Lily, for the interview, and best of luck to the Mavs for the rest of the season. Now let's talk about the boys' basketball teams locally. Not a bad week for them either. Mount Lake Terrace, they picked up 2 wins this week, defeating Arlington on Tuesday, a game in which Kyrie Armstead had 20 points. And then on Friday night, they defeated Meadowdale 63-49. Brock Davis with 27 points, Sean Kirk with 22 for the Hawks. They're now 4-1 on the season in conference play. Edmonds-Woodway, also a nice week for them. They pick up 2 victories. They defeated Arlington 79-67 on Tuesday night in a game in which Keaton McKay had 25 points. Caleb Knowles, the junior, had 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals. And then on Friday night, they defeated Snohomish 53-33. McKay had 17 points in that game to lead the Warriors. So the Warriors still rolling right along. And then Linwood. Linwood picked up a 75-53 victory over Snohomish earlier in the week. Alex Macias with 22 points for the Royals in that game. Again, all 3 of those teams picking up victories. Meadowdale, they were the lone team that didn't, but they only had 1 game all week. And we do want to mention that Dan Barhoum, who was in our studio last week, did score 19 points in the loss for the Mavericks. So a nice job for Dan and the rest of his teammates, and we'll see if they can keep things going and maybe pick up a victory this upcoming week. Other sports to note, wrestling. Over the weekend, last weekend, Mount Lake Terrace participating in the Island Invitational over on Bainbridge Island. 12 schools at that event, the Hawks finishing 2nd overall. 2 of the Hawks wrestlers actually picking up victories in their weight classifications, as Michael Marquez won the 126-pound division and Rainey Mack won the 195-pound division. Hawks were in Hoquiam this past weekend. Still waiting for some results from that particular meet, and hopefully if things go well, we'll get you more of those results next weekend. And then we've got swimming. Edmonds-Woodway picking up a nice victory over Everett on Tuesday. Lost to Shorecrest later on in the week, but one swimmer that we do want to make note of, Ethan Wang, finishing the 100 backstroke in a time of 59.57 seconds. Great job, Ethan, and great job to the Warriors for getting the victory. So that concludes this week's edition of This Week in High School Sports. We appreciate you for watching, and once again, we want to thank Selina and Lily for their participation. Stay tuned next week when we get you caught up on everything that's going on within the Edmonds School District on the high school sports scene. We'll talk to you again next week.